What's up, on family? It's Yigal. Happy Hump Day today. It's Wednesday. And you know what? I didn't even realize the name of the Facebook Live and that it's Hump Day today, but I think it's a perfect combination to talk about something that I think is super important, right? Um, we had a mastermind meeting a couple weeks ago, and I was asking people to give me their wins. And somebody was saying how they're so happy that they were prepared for everything that's going on, that they were prepared, and they've got tons of stock. They're selling. They have the best month ever, and just celebrations going around. By the way, if you're watching live, give me hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, put in replay or just say hi. You don't have to put live or replay. Just say hello. And we asked him. We said, well, what was the difference maker in being prepared this time? And he said some of the funniest words I've ever heard in my 20 years of being in pawn. And that was, he said, Yigal, I stopped humping the counter. And uh, my respect to all the ladies here, I couldn't stop laughing. He's like, I got out of being behind the counter, and I actually took action. I strategized. I did the leadership stuff that you said. I did the marketing like you said. I strategized, and I took my business to the next level. I've got my finances better, more clarity, just so much more because I stopped humping the counter. And he said 2 or 3 times, and every time he said it, I just laughed and laughed and laughed. But then I realized something. I realized how right he is that most of you might be humping the counter because it's our comfort zone, right? Phil, you're watching live. Don't worry. Hey, Amy. Hey, Carly. Thanks for being here. So many of our comfort zone is being behind the counter, making the deals. And the uncomfortable part of the business is having clarity in the financials, leading the team, doing the marketing, strategizing for the next quarter, finding places where there's merchandise. It's the uncomfortable part of the side of the business. But in the uncomfortable part of the business, that's where success occurs. We had a mastermind call the last couple of days talking about the future of pawn and what we're going to do and how we're preparing, and the experts that I'm bringing in to the mastermind to talk about stuff that have never been spoken about in the pawn world before. And so lack of preparation and you sitting in your comfort zone is going to, I can't even speak today. It's going to make you stay where you've been all these years. And yes, I know that you've had an anomaly year the past 12 months. Your loan balance dropping, best sales ever in the history. You can't find merchandise. This is an anomaly year. But what are you going to do going forward? What are you going to do with millennials who don't want to buy gold and merchandise, and that's just not their thing? What are you going to do when you can't find product, which is what's happening here today? What are you going to do? And I can think about a couple of mastermind members who there was a post a couple of weeks ago saying, hey, I can't find merchandise. And I think it was Nick or Nicholas Fulton who basically said, well, we've been buying merchandise for the last 5 months to prepare for this because of the mastermind group, because of the preparation, because we're foreseeing 12 months down the line, preparing 12 months down the line, and we stopped humping the counter years ago to be able to not just deal with the business today, but be able to look forward and put in our goals, our KPIs, our budgets to be able to make this business move forward better than it's ever moved forward in the past. Now, understand that the pawn business is flipped upside down right now. I know you guys know it, right? If you're in the chat box, let me know what's doing better right now, pawns or retail sales in terms of amount of transactions. Most of you are going to say sales, right? Somebody said turning redemption cash into inventory as fast as possible, right? And again, this is like the heyday, right? This is the heyday of what's going on. But if you're not prepared for what's happening the next 12 months from now, what are you going to do? There's going to be another stimulus package. That's my opinion. I think people are going to like getting free money so much that they're going to ask for more and more, and they're going to get another stimulus package. And then what are you going to do? You rode the wave, you got over it, and then what? Well, this is the time to accelerate your knowledge in the pawn industry, the retail industry, and in leadership, marketing, and other strategies to be able to take your business to the next level. To be able to take, the mastermind members at the moment are a little more calm than the rest of the pawn industry because they know where they're going. There's a plan. Amy says, show me the money, right? We've got, we were talking about with my brother, he's selling shirts and shoes and hype gear and all this other stuff that if you don't know what your community wants, you're going to get stuck without merchandise. You're not going to have that much gold anymore. You have to start buying at higher rates. Game systems, televisions, all that stuff is going to be harder and harder to find because guess what? Everybody in pawn is going to start buying from the same dealers over and over again. And you're going to have a lack of merchandise like never before. So on April 19th, we're holding the Pawn Accelerator Challenge. It's 5 days that I'm going to talk to you guys about leadership, marketing strategy, epic customer service, and how to take your pawn business to the next level. By the way, it's not 5 full days with me. It's 30 minutes a day where I'm going to give you the foundational skills of what you need to know to be able to take your business to the next level. So I'm going to put this here in the banners. If you go to pawnaccelerator.com, again, it is crazy cheap. It's $57 for the Accelerator Challenge. 5 days with me to get you to learn everything that we're talking about. Things are super important today in the pawn world, in leadership, how to market to the younger generation like never before. It's funny, my clients have been marketing on Facebook for years now, and now we're getting off the platform and we're going to market to different avatars and methods, which we'll be teaching. And again, it's $57. Somebody said I was crazy. You said, Yigal, you're crazy for charging so little. But in the comments, let me know. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. pawnaccelerator.com. Check it out. $57, 5 days with me. I'm going to give you tons and tons of value, and I guarantee you at least getting 10 times your investment back for sure. Let me know what you think about humping the counter. I thought it was funny. If you're doing that these days, stop. I know that you're making sales and things are going on, but what's going to happen is if you're consistently trying to make sales and you're not delegating that to your team to do it well, you can't strategize on what's going to happen in the next 3 months. And the next 3 months are going to go by. You're going to be like, oh, what do I do now? I'm stuck. I should have thought about that 3 months ago. Yes, you're making money right now. Yes, you're making sales hand over fist. I get it. I understand. I don't want you to stop making sales, but you can't stop looking forward, looking into the future of what's going to happen in business. And today, truthfully, it's not just about being a great pawnbroker. It's about being a great entrepreneur and leader to see what's going to happen and to be proactive, not reactive. I read an article the other day that said that Amazon buys their merchandise 3 months in advance, knowing what's going to sell. They already know what you're going to buy 3 months from now. They have an idea, and that's how they stock their warehouses. Fashion retailers are stocking up now. They're making merchandise. They are putting together their fashion handbooks to be able to come out with merchandise 2 or 3 months from now because they know what you're going to like to buy. As you're scrounging around for TVs and game systems Do you know what your customer is going to want 3 months from now? We're going to walk and talk about that at the Pawn Accelerator. Go check it out. It's $57. Make the investment. Even if you just watch the replays, you'll get your money back. Amy said, got my attention. Jump in, Amy. By the way, you don't have to be a pawn shop owner. You could be a manager. You could be any type of leader in the pawn shop industry. Carly says retail is up. That's for sure. How are your pawns doing? Let me know in the chat box. What's going on with your pawn balance? Is it down 10% from last year, 20% from last year? Somebody said, never heard of that. Never heard of thought of that expression, but it's funny. I'm having my first store meeting Monday. Yes. Thank you. Have a store meeting. You know what? It was the first time I heard it. I have to attribute to Ken Hiddleston, who said he's got to stop humping the counter on hump day for all days. Cool. Somebody says, I'm sitting at the counter watching this. That's awesome. You can hump the counter watching me all day long. Just make it PG, please. Right? Carly says balance is down at least 40K. And what's going to happen is that your income is going to be down because of that in the future. So you have to say, how do I make up for that income in the future? Right? I love it. I love it. So funny. Phil Webb says, assuming I'm watching this live, told you are watching, but I appreciate you. Thanks for being on. And don't be afraid of learning. Don't be afraid of taking action. Don't be afraid of getting into conversations like the accelerator. So because if you take one thing from those 5 days and you implement, it's going to, one, make you a lot more money than $57, and two, it's going to save you so much more time in your business. So I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of what's important to grow a business, how to be a better leader, marketing strategies of today, right? So Philip said, grew my pawn balance. Congratulations. We have got some clients who've grown their pawn balance for sure, right? Somebody said, tethered to the till. Yeah, like that. I personally like hump the counter better. It gives me a better visual, I think. But cool. All right. Anybody have any questions about their pawn business at the moment? I've got about 15 minutes. So I have to get ready for a mastermind call. But again, my mission is to help pawnbrokers make more, stress less, and live an epic life. And somebody asked me, Yigal, why are you charging $57? I said, because if I don't charge, pawnbrokers aren't going to show up. And if I charge too much, they're not going to show up. So I think it's a good balance. Right? We'll keep working hard. I appreciate all of you. Love you all. Stay safe, stay healthy. Stop humping the counter. Have team meetings, strategize, look into the future, get that crystal ball and make some assumptions. It's okay. It's okay to assume and make a plan. And if the plan has to change, that's okay as well. I'll talk to you guys later. See you in the Pawn Accelerator. It's going to be incredible. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Oh, here we go. One more question. How do we market to the younger generation who may not know the value of a pawn shop? I love it. So one thing is to know what they like, right? You've got a lot of the young generation who are not on Facebook, who might be on things like Instagram and TikTok and other places. And the younger generation isn't looking for stuff. They're looking for more experiences. So how can you make walking into the pawn shop an experience, right? How can we make it experiential? How do we make them laugh? How can we educate them? The young generation is watching YouTube videos. They're learning so much. You might think that they're just sitting on their phone chatting all day, but they're learning. I know some young Bitcoin millionaires. I know some young real estate millionaires. I know some youngsters making money. They're 14 years old. They're making money on video games because they have their friends building some buildings within the video game. They make points, then they sell the points on Venmo. I know a 16-year-old who makes $8,000 a month flipping motor cross bikes off of Craigslist and OfferUp. They want experience. They want to learn. Our clients in the mastermind are doing Facebook Lives and they're teaching nonstop. But we'll talk more about how to do that in the accelerator for sure. Great question. I'd love advice on monthly meetings, ideas, goals people use to motivate teams, etc. Great. So for that user, because it just says Facebook user, you haven't given me permission to see your name. Are you having monthly meetings at the moment? And the first thing that you need to do is you've got to break down the monthly meeting. You should always have a syllabus of what you're going to do, an agenda, because you don't want the meeting to just be boring and stupid and horrible and it sucks, right? Always start off with an icebreaker. There's books on Amazon called 100,001 Icebreakers. Have fun, pick a game, do something to make them laugh. Two, you always want to talk about what's working, right? So let's celebrate what's working. And then you want to say, hey, what's not working? You want to have the team be able to give you feedback. Okay, what's up, Melissa? Awesome. You want to have the team give you feedback so you know what's working and what's not working so you can make a change. And then three, you want to talk about where you're going next. What's the plan? And give them transparency. Where are we on our goals? Where are we on our metrics and our KPIs? Where are we on our budget? What do we need to happen? And obviously thank them, right? Every meeting should have breakfast of some sort, pay for their meal. You should be paying for their hours in a meeting. That's my belief. And make it fun. Make it exciting, and make it so that they connect as a team. So you might have a list of 5 get-to-know questions, right? Are you more of a dog person or the cat person? Have them answer and play a game like Jeopardy, right? Or play a game of Family Feud with them when it comes to pawn shop questions, right? You can kind of look at, so I've done this a lot with like the youth leadership, and I teach this in the mastermind, where play games, find fun TV show games, recreate them in your store, and do that in a meeting. We had the Pawn Olympics at our store. So we'd have people have to test 10 items and tell us the value, and whoever got it the closest won a prize, things like that. Great question, by the way. I'm advertising intern positions to college students to handle the marketing to that generation. Love it. They need those hours, for sure. Meaning financial performance of store and division store performers, operation issues, personal development training will play, takeaways, input. Yes, and have fun. If you make meetings boring, there's a book called Death by Meeting. You don't want to kill them. If it's so boring, they're not going to want to show up. I wouldn't want to show up to your meeting if it sucks. That's the truth, right? If you're not fun and motivating, how are you expecting them to be motivated at work? Cool. All right. So questions like this I'm going to answer at the accelerator. We'll have time for Q&A. Except 5 days of questions. Jump on board. It's $57. Come have some fun with me and some other pawnbrokers. And I'm going to take off. Go get ready for my call. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Love you all. Check out the pawnaccelerator.com.